You know what's funny? Um, in my 42 years of living in this world, I've always been by myself. Always. When I tried to have friends, I could never fit in with the group. And I don't really understood why I was so different. I just knew I was different. Maybe it's the way that I look. Maybe it's the way that I act. So I was always alone in a sense, because even though I had friends when I was younger, I knew they wasn't my real friends, and I knew that we really didn't have nothing compatible. I just hung with them, but I always felt like the outsider. So eventually I would just wind up being alone anyway. And then when I got older to be in relationships, I would get into relationships, and for some reason I knew that these men was not good for me. But the fact that I had such low self-esteem about myself, I always settled. And because I always felt like that whoever wanted me, I should be blessed or fortunate that someone wanted me. So I always settled, and I always wind up being alone. So when I was younger, the friends that I had, they wasn't really the kind of friends that I needed it to be. When I got into relationships, I noticed that these men wasn't for me. So I always wind up being back to myself, back alone. And now that I am 42, I realize at 42 years old, I am still alone. And now that I am coming into learning who I am spiritually, because at first I didn't know. I feel like now that I am growing into learning who I really am, it pretty much put the reason why I've always been alone, the reason why none of my friends worked out, none of my relationships worked out. But the downfall about that is now that I have grown to learn who I am spiritually, looking at the world and the reality that I'm in, it makes it even more harder, because now that I know what I need, I know what I want, I know what I need to be around, I know the type of man I need, I know the type of friends I need. Now I went from being alone to now living in a reality where you are really actually alone, because it's going to be hard to find a man that is on the level that I'm on. It's going to be hard to find friends that is on the level that I'm on. And all the men that I would want to be around that's on my level, they are so far away from me. And all the friends that needs to be around me, that I need to be around, is so far away. So it's like when you awaken to be your higher self, it's like it puts you more of a loner. At first I always just settled, because I thought that I was just different, you know. And now that I have grown to know myself spiritually, I understand why I always felt different, why I always felt like I couldn't blend in, because I'm not a part of that. And now that I realize that I am not a part of none of that, it's like what I am a part of is so far away from me. And it's like I can either make two choices. I can either continue to settle and be with men that I know is not on my level, or be with men that I know is not gonna. The only thing that I can settle for now is just being with a man that is strictly nice to me. Because if I need a man that is going to grow with me spiritually, that understands spirituality, that understands that he needs to be fed and I need to be fed spiritually, not just physically. And the friends that I need to be around has to feed me spiritually, and I feed them spiritually. So it's like once you awaken to your higher self, it puts you in a better space and in a better place within yourself. But when you look at your surroundings, it's like you are in a jail cell and you're the only one in there. Because if you try to talk to people around you and then talk about the things that you want to talk about, they don't know shit about the stuff. The stuff that I talk about, a lot of people consider that blasphemy or demonic. You know? So it's like now that I have grown to know who I am, it's like that put me in a bigger, smaller cage. And in a way, it's a good thing, because I am so happy and proud of myself that I have gotten the opportunity to learn who Ajita really is. But it's like, ooh. And don't get me wrong, at times I get real. Overall, I wouldn't say that I am lonely, but at times I get real lonely. I just want to be around people I can laugh and joke with, and we on the same level. I don't mind laying next to a man and I can look at him and we on the same level. But it's like, and they always say speak and think in the existence. The thing about it is that if I sit here and I go along with wanting what I want now, I'm not going to find it. You know, I can sit here and I can play along with life and be around friends. It's not really on my level. Be in relationships with men that I know can help me grow spiritually, can't really do nothing for me, but just give me money, treat me nice, have sex with me, you know. But I need more than that. I need more than just the physical. And the fact that I know now that I need to be fed spiritual, because I can feed myself spiritually just fine. I've been doing it very well. But when you're around people, places, and things that elevates you, enlighten you, you know, it raises your vibration to a point where as though you actually feel like you're in another world. Because honestly, I feel like I'm in another world right now. I feel like I'm in a world of my own, you know. And when you feel like that you're in a world of your own, everybody around you is not going to see life the way you see it. And the people that do see it the way you see it, they live hundreds of miles away. So it's a good side to be spiritually inclined. And now I see how Jesus Christ felt. He was a very lonesome man. He had a lot of people that adored him. He had a lot of people that didn't like him at all. But I can tell he was very lonesome. Imagine living in a world where you know you was different. And you either going to be a part of that world and denounce yourself, or you just going to go with yourself. And if you go with yourself, you're going to forsake everything that is a part of the world, because the world is not a part of you. And when you denounce the world and you actually start being a part of who you are, eventually the world is going to get rid of you. Just like the world got rid of Jesus Christ. Because Jesus Christ didn't want to be a part of the world. He was a part of himself. He was a part of the spirit. And now that I notice that I am becoming more and more and more inclined within my spirit, and in the spirit, the world is declining me. And honestly, I don't want nothing to do with it. This is how I know how Jesus Christ felt. And this is how I know he knew that his life wasn't going to be long on this planet. And it's unfortunate, because all the people that I wanted to be friends with, I'm not even mad at them anymore. They just wasn't meant. And all the relationships that I was in, I'm not even mad at them, because they just wasn't meant. But whatever is meant for me, I don't believe it's here. I don't believe it's here in this dimension. It's not here in this realm. It's not here in this reality. I think in this dimension that I am in, this life that I'm currently living in right now, this life was meant for me to learn who I am, not to indulge in it. It was this life that I'm living right now, being Ajita, was meant for me to learn who I am, so that case in my next life, I can be where I belong. So in this life, for some people, it's a learning experience. And for some people, they were meant to be here.